Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 48 of the NordCast. It is Monday, March 11th. I think it's the 11th, 2024. I feel like I should know that by now. But anyway, March 11th, 2024. I am your host here, Nordic 97, joined with Carter. Where have you been, Carter? How you been?
Guys, I'm back.
It's been a long time since Carter's been in an episode.
It has been a long time. I'm doing pretty well. Just came back from the Jets game. Nice little 3-0 win over the Washington Capitals. They played actually pretty good hockey tonight. Tyler Toffoli in action, his first game as a Jet. Had a couple chances, I will say. He looked pretty solid. Reunited with Iafallo and Monahan. They put those two guys on the same line. I really like that line. And then also Colin Miller played his first game for the Jets as well. Not a great first shift. I think he had a little bit of jitters. He made a really bad first pass, and it almost resulted in a Washington goal. But no, after that he looked good. So things are looking good for some Winnipeg Jets hockey right now. So I'm pretty excited.
He is feeling pretty happy. And the ironic thing is that whenever we get one of them, we got to trade out the other. Jack's not here.
No.
Jack has a 9 p.m. practice in Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. That's like unreal. But regardless,
I have beer league games at like 10 o'clock, so I can't really say much. But like that's a practice, which is kind of optional. Jack should have skipped it.
I mean, I have had games at like 10 p.m. at night because again, I used to play in some beer league. And obviously Penridge would have some late games. But a practice is pretty insane. But regardless, we're not here to talk about Jack's whatever he's doing. It's the trade deadline. We are going to review the trade deadline in a few moments. First off, we do have a couple of little bits of news that I want to get out of the way before we get into the tier list and all the funs and games we have. I want to start off with John Tortorella. So Philadelphia Flyers coach John Tortorella has been suspended for 2 games for mouthing off at the refs, saying inappropriate language, and also saying that, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the bench. He has also been fined $50,000. I looked it up, and if I'm correct, it is the 8th time a coach has been suspended in the NHL's history. So this does not happen often. So I want to go to Carter. What are your thoughts on the Flyers coach, Tortorella? Because we're both Flyers fans. What are your thoughts on Tortorella being suspended? And is the league soft? Because that's what I've seen a lot in the media.
So I wasn't watching the game. I was at work when this happened, or I might have been at the gym. I was in one of the two places. And then I checked Twitter, and all of a sudden it's blowing up or X, sorry. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I don't care. Whatever. I checked Twitter, and it's just the clip of Tortorella, and it's like Torts is going mad right now. Elliot Friedman said Torts has been ejected. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then eventually I see the video, and he is not happy. So I don't know. I didn't look into it too much because I was like, okay, well, I kind of forgot about it a little bit till the suspension, and I never ended up looking it up. Do you know the context, Nordic?
It was, I think, off of a really bad call. I don't know if it was after a goal. I actually did watch the game. I was watching it with my girlfriend. She was over. That's probably why we lost. Thanks, Cadence. But anywho, I believe it was off of a pretty bad call, and Tortorella was heavily angry at the refs for it, cursing, saying all this stuff, and then they asked him to leave, and he was like, no, I ain't freaking leaving. He didn't say freaking, but eventually he did leave, and it resulted in the suspension.
Yeah, so honestly, like, that's just who Tortorella is. Like, he's a guy who wants to be right. He wants his team to play well, and ultimately, like, he's a guy who, no matter what, he's going to do what he can to, like, try and get the boys ready and get the boys hyped up. And I don't know. It's that when you're kind of, like, not leaving the bench when the refs are telling you to, and you're just kind of staying there and you're swearing at them, you're bound to get something. I think it should have been either a fine or a suspension, just one of them and not both of them. I think that if you're gonna decide on giving him a punishment, fine. Like that's sure, whatever. But you gotta pick one of the two there, especially if it's a coach and he didn't like. He's talking. He's not throwing sticks on the ice. He's not he's not body checking anyone. He's not trying to put anyone in a coma. Like he's just verbally talking. So you got to decide whether it's a fine or it's a suspension. And in my opinion, it can't be both. But at the end of the day, it's not. I don't run the fucking NHL.
You're right about that one. Well, I have a few thoughts. One of the thoughts is that CEO Dan Hilferty actually said that he will pay for the fine. So Tortorella doesn't need to worry about that. Hilferty said that he understands that the NHL will give out fines and such for some situations. Maybe it was deserved. Maybe he's even admitting that it was deserved. But he said that he would pay for the fine and such. So
makes rare Comcast W.
Yeah, rare Comcast W for sure. I know we've been saying it. I know I've said it on the podcast for years that they should sell the team. But regardless, that's a whole conversation for another time.
Still sell the team, but whatever.
I find it weird that with Tortorella, we've seen a lot of coaches react way worse than this. I remember it was a while ago, and I think it was like 1 or 2 years ago. It was a little bit ago. I remember Rick Bowness. I think he was coaching Dallas. He overreacted or it might have been Pete DeBauer. It was one of the Dallas coaches. He reacted by slapping a stick onto a board and breaking it. I feel like that would be more worthy of a suspension than Tortorella mouthing off at the refs. I really don't understand it. I guess it's because Tortorella is a repeat offender, and as well as that too, he's also mouthing off to the ref. But I feel like breaking a piece of product and also mouthing off to the refs would be more worthy of a suspension, but I don't run the NHL, as you said. So
yeah, but at this, also we can lip read as much as we want, but at the same time, cameras aren't always on Tortorella. Like at least for a little bit of that, it was up showing the suite of some of his former from that Cup team in 2004 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So maybe he said some stuff there too. Maybe there's stuff that just wasn't caught on put out to the public. But again, I also find it so funny how this happens on a night where he's getting honored for winning a Stanley Cup with Tampa. That's Torts. That's just John Tortorella.
It is pretty funny. I will agree with that. I mean, yeah, I get why he's angry because it's a game that the Flyers kind of needed to win. And it isn't the refs not making calls isn't the entire reason why they lost this game. It was brutal. They lost 7-0 for those who haven't seen it. It was not a great game whatsoever. They were running 13 forwards and 5 defensemen because Zamula had the flu, so they put in Delorier to play defense. And I was like, what? I was so lost. But yeah, a lot of situations there with Philadelphia. They are still battling for a playoff spot. Even though they are third in the Metro, the Islanders are swiftly catching up. If the Islanders win tonight, they will tie the Flyers, so I am now starting to get really worried. But regardless, any other thoughts on Tortorella?
No, but Torts is an absolute legend.
I agree. An interesting news here from, I think, Sunday. The Minnesota Wild did an interesting move in overtime. We don't really see this often. The Wild pulled Marc-Andre Fleury in overtime to win the game. Now, what we found out was, yeah, the Wild would have gotten an extra overtime point. However, if you have the goalie pulled, you actually lose the game and don't get the overtime point if the other team scores on empty net in overtime. That was a rule I didn't know. But the Wild did pull their goalie. They pulled Fleury and ended up winning the game. And the Wild needed these 2 points, too. They are in the Western Conference playoff race. I don't know exactly where they stand, but they're definitely in the playoff race right now. So, Carter, what are your thoughts on this weird move by the Wild?
So, that's definitely I don't know if we've ever seen that before.
I have never seen it. In the 6 or 7 years I've been watching, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's I always knew that, or I heard about this being a rule, but I thought it was one that they were planning on implementing and not one that was already implemented. But that's beside the point. So the Wild are currently 6 points back of Vegas for that last wild card spot, as well as LA as well. Also 6 points out of LA. Both LA and Vegas are tied in points right now. So whoever ends up dropping. Besides the point, very risky. Very risky. You either take the guaranteed 1 point. They put all their chips in the middle and said, we want the 2. So definitely a risky play by them. And apparently none of them knew, or at least Matt Boldy, he got interviewed. I don't know if it was after the game or the next day, but he had no idea that that was a rule. So I don't know if anyone else on Minnesota knew that that was a rule. But yeah, so that was something that they decided, you know what, they're just going to go for it. And yeah, that's a risky play, but one that paid off for them big time.
I don't think people knew it was a rule because it's something that like we never see. I have never seen this in the amount of time I've been watching hockey. I've never seen this, so it's a really weird rule that pretty much comes out. But I mean, hey, we may see it be used more commonly now that the Wild have used it. So we'll obviously find out. Josh Norris is out for the season again with a shoulder surgery injury. He's done for the year. He did play 50 games this season, so he did come back and played a little bit. He played 8 games the year prior. He's 24 years old, and he has 6 more seasons on a $7.95 million contract, which might be the worst contract in the NHL at this point. It honestly might be. So it's something that is unfortunate, but it's sad to see Josh Norris go like this. But he is obviously going to keep playing, but it sucks to see him out for the season with an injury like this. And I think that's it outside of the trade deadline stuff.
Do you want to? So I don't know if you want to bring this up right now, but the Matt Rempe.
We can. I just saw this.
So this just happened today. He got a 5 in a game for his hit on Sharon Govich, I think.
Siegenthaler.
Siegenthaler. Sorry, Siegenthaler. Yeah, so he might get suspended for this.
Yeah, for those who haven't seen the play, Siegenthaler's coming up, dumps the puck into the Rangers zone. Rempe comes up. I think a lot of it could be that what Rempe's going to argue is that he missed. He missed Siegenthaler. But still, there is blatant head contact to the elbow and the head. He got a 5 minutes, so it probably seems that he is most likely going to get either a fine or suspension for this. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And it just shows that, like, I've seen plays like this too. And I think Rempe's even a victim of it where, you make a play like something similar to that, you get ejected, but you don't get suspended. Then you see another play that's similar to that, and you get suspended. I don't understand that. I don't understand the inconsistency with the NHL player safety. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out if he gets suspended. He might not. We'll see.
Well, who the hell knows? What point in time did that happen? Like, because so here's my thing on it, right? At least with like, okay, so hang on.
I can just look for it. You can talk.
Okay. So it happened like with 30 seconds left in the second period. Okay. Yeah, so my thing with I feel like with the NHL and like their inconsistency on like the hits and if someone gets ejected, I think it's gonna come down to like how early in the game was this? Because like let's say this happens early in the first period, and they get the game misconduct, they pretty much sat out that whole game essentially as like a suspension almost, right? So I feel like that's one thing that they could look at rather than a hit that's late in the game where it's like, well, I played the full game, like now we got to hand out a suspension here because like that's just still unacceptable. I completely understand where you're coming from, Nord, but in my opinion, I feel like that might be how they decide it. I don't know. Again, I don't run the NHL. I don't run NHL player safety. I'm just an 18-year-old with a microphone and an opinion.
I mean, that's an interesting viewpoint to look at. I didn't think of it that way, so that's a good way to look at it. But regardless, we're going to get into the trade deadline stuff, and I figured, what better way to kind of review all the trades than to do a tier list? So let's get to that. All right, so we are here with our tier list, and I figured a cool way to do this was we would have 5 tiers, being cup contenders, playoff lock, bubble team, outside looking in, and the lottery. We're going to go through all 32 teams here, sorted by division for the video listeners. The audio listeners, you guys can just listen and hear our thoughts on the teams. And then at the end, we will mention every team in every column, so people didn't miss that. So we'll get straight into it here. We're starting off with they're in alphabetical order, actually. Whoops. I guess they reset my division. But regardless, so we'll start off with the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks made a couple of trades. They traded Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick over to the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for a first-round pick and all that good stuff. I believe that was the only trade they made. They also, they didn't move. They didn't move Labushkin. Wait, yeah, they moved Labushkin too. So Labushkin was also a player that got traded as well. But that's all they did. So Carter, I think we're all going to generally agree that Anaheim should be in the
Cup contender.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Lottery is where we view Anaheim. Yeah. Any thoughts on Anaheim?
Not really. I mean, they pretty much had to get some picks. They really gotta start taking this next step soon. That's pretty much all I have to say, is they gotta take this next step soon.
Now, as a sort of Ducks fan that you are you happy that Trevor Zegras didn't get traded?
I don't care about Anaheim anymore.
Oh.
They have our trader, and I don't care about Anaheim anymore.
That's right. Cutter Goche, forgot about that. But yeah. Anywho, Arizona traded Matt Dumba to Tampa. They traded Jason Zucker over to the Nashville Predators. I think they traded Stetcher over to the Oilers as well. So, Carter, are they a lottery team or are they the outside looking in?
So, honestly, I feel like there's not much to really say to put them at outside looking in. I mean, they're almost 20 points out of a playoff spot. There's still like a lot of games left. So
they're
not far. I don't think they're outside looking in. Outside looking in lottery, maybe. They're kind of in that weird spot where they're in between lottery and outside looking in, but I don't think that they're bad enough to be lottery, even though they would be draft lottery. But I'd put them in. I don't really think it matters. Lottery, outside looking in, doesn't matter to me. But
I'm kind of leaning lottery, because I mean they were a team that was like on the outside looking in, or even on the inside, or a bubble team. Yeah. But then they fell the hell off with a 14-game losing streak and then have lost since. So I'm kind of leaning lottery, but I feel like the expectation for this team is to be outside looking in.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's kind of a toss up. You could really say it either way. I'm gonna go lottery.
Yeah.
But I think that you could do that.
Yeah. Realistically, I think they're too far to be outside looking in. But yeah.
All right, Boston Bruins. The Bruins made trades for Andrew Peeke. They made trades for Pat Maroon. Now, even though those trades weren't massive trades by any means, Carter, where do you put the Boston Bruins on our tier list?
I think that they are a playoff lock, realistically.
Cup contenders.
I don't know if I would. Actually, you know what? Looking at all the other, no, actually, you know, I would put them in cup contenders.
Yeah,
no, I'd put them in cup contenders.
Yeah, I feel cup contenders is the right place for them. I still think that even though they're still facing some struggles when it comes to offense and some defensive issues, I think that they may have fixed those. And acquiring a guy like Andrew Peeke, it doesn't solve everything, but I think it definitely helps out. I still think they're cup contenders for sure. So yeah. I think they go. They're not the number one contender, but I think they're definitely in the conversation.
Up there for at least top 5 for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Buffalo, they did not make a whole lot of moves. I think the only move they made that I can think of. Oh no, they made 2. They traded Okposo to Florida, and they also acquired Bowen Byram for Casey Middlestat. So I don't view them as a lottery team. I think they are the outside looking in. Do you agree with me there?
Yeah, like team. I think that I would put them at outside.
I don't think they're that far off.
They're not. They're kind of in the same spot as where like Arizona's could fit in two. I think that Buffalo is a bubble team, but also on the outside looking in. Um, I don't know. I'd put them at outside looking in because I don't think that they're high enough to throw them in that bubble team yet. But I do like the acquisition of Bowen Byram.
I think that's really
Um,
going to help them long term. I think
I agree. I know Bowen Byram's cousin. Shout out Nigel. Um, but yeah, one of my closest buddies is he's cousins with Bowen Byram, so that's actually kind of sick. So he's also an Avs fan, so he was kind of heartbroken when Bowen Byram got traded. Um, but yeah, I think that this is definitely going to help them. I think that they'll definitely be. I mean, I thought they were going to make the playoffs this year. Guess not, but I think that right now they're outside looking in.
Yeah, I think that's where Buffalo should be. They aren't a team that necessarily gets put in a lottery spot, but they should definitely be on the outside looking in. Calgary, they made plenty of moves. They traded Elias Lindholm to the Vancouver Canucks. They traded Noah Hanifin to the Vegas Golden Knights. They traded Chris Tanev to the Dallas Stars. They really built up their assets here when it came to prospects and picks. But they are kind of in the race. They're still chasing along. I think they're actually the closest team right now to Vegas in the wild card standings. I need to look real quick. Oh no, they're not.
No,
Never mind. They
Minnesota.
were a few days ago, but now that Minnesota and St. Louis have picked it up. But they're still in the race for sure. They're not that far off. But Carter, where do you view the Calgary Flames? Do you think they're I feel like I'm leaning outside looking in here. Same with Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that they're kind of. I think they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them in the outside looking in. Carolina, they got Jake Gensel, they got Evgeny Kuznetsov. I think there is no doubt cup contenders. I think they might be the number one right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they definitely made. They made. I don't know if I'd put Carolina at number one cup
Well, maybe
contender.
not number one, but they're definitely
They're definitely one of the top cup contenders for sure. They made a lot of nice moves at the deadline there. Um, and they absolutely dominated Calgary the other day.
oh yeah,
That was pure just
for dominance.
dominance.
Yeah, for sure. Chicago, I think it's pretty obvious they're a lottery team waiting for Macklin Celebrini.
Yep, they're the first team mathematically eliminated, so makes
Carter,
sense.
I do have a little question here for you. Would you be well? I know Jack would be happy, but would you be mad if the Blackhawks got the first overall pick again?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do not
Yes.
as a Jets fan, I do not want to deal with Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini for the rest of my existence.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good 10 years there.
I am thankful that I got to deal with like kind of once I got into hockey, I got to deal with the like fall of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. And now that when I'm like really into hockey, I got to deal with Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini for the rest of my life. Not
Yes,
gonna be a happy camper for me, but
I'm sure.
whatever.
Never ends. Never ends.
No,
Um.
it does not.
Yeah, Colorado. They acquired. Why am I blanking on Colorado's moves? They got. Oh my god. This is the one team that I just forget. Colorado acquired. Um. Holy crap! Why am I blanking? They acquired Casey Middlestat from the Sabres. They also acquired Jakob Trenin from the Predators. They acquired Brandon Duhaime from the Minnesota Wild. I think that's it. I'm not entirely too sure. They also got Sean Walker. I feel like I would have mentioned that first from the Flyers. So, Carter, I feel like the obvious pick here is to put them in cup contenders. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that that's pretty obvious. I think that they're definitely cup contenders. I think that for the most part, I think almost every single division has at least two that I feel like are unanimous cup contenders.
Yeah, at
But
least two bona fide contenders. Columbus, they traded Andrew Peak. I think that's all they did, to be honest with you. I think it's pretty obvious where they are. They are a lottery team.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Dallas, they only made one move and they acquired Chris Tanev. However, guys like Logan Stankoven and other players are playing really well right now. Carter, do you feel Dallas is a cup contender?
Yeah, 100%. I think that they're definitely a cup contender. Um, it. I guess I'm gonna kind of spoil my Jets one, but I think that the Central is my only division that I would give three cup contenders to. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'm just a little bit worried that like we're gonna have so many cup contenders that it's just gonna be like a full freaking list. But yeah, Detroit made one move. They traded away Clem Costin for C-Mac from the San Jose Sharks. Even though they made those moves, the expectation was kind of that they weren't supposed to make any moves whatsoever or stand pat because they're kind of above expectations. Carter, I wouldn't say they're a playoff lock just yet. I'm personally thinking they're a bubble team right now because they are
yeah,
outside of a playoff spot, but
yeah. No, I'd put them bubble for sure.
yeah, you agree with that. Edmonton acquired Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick. They also acquired Troy Stetcher. I believe that's all they did in regards to moves. So, Carter, are they a cup contender or a playoff lock? They're a
Um,
difficult team.
they are very difficult. I don't want to put every single team in a cup contender. As much as I really do think that Edmonton could end up being a cup contender, I am also like just I don't know.
I don't
They've
want to put them in
been
playoff lock.
I would feel 100% comfortable putting them in playoff lock. Um, would I be okay with putting them in cup contender? Yes, but I think I would put them in playoff lock for sure, 100% confidence, and I'd have a little bit of confidence in cup contender.
Listen, I get the argument that people want to say that, oh yeah, they're cup contenders. I think anytime they have McDavid and Draisaitl, they're cup contenders, but can't put every team a cup contender. I feel like there's going to be teams that need to be playoff locks, and honestly, I don't know if I view Edmonton as a cup contender right now. I just
No,
really don't know if I see it,
they're
even with the 16 game win streak. I don't know.
like their last like I will say their last five games, their wins, a 6-1 win over Pittsburgh, that's a good win. A 2-1 overtime win versus the Bruins, that's a good win. Then their most recent game against the Penguins, a 4-0 win, that's a good one. But then those two losses in there, you got the Blue Jackets, you lost 4-2. You got the Sabres, you lost in that shootout, 3-2. Like those are teams that if you want to be a cup contender, you gotta beat this late in the season.
Yeah. So it's just we'll find out. But I think Edmonton right now you can say playoff lock. Florida, they got Tarasenko for virtually nothing. They have plenty of players who say, I want to go to Florida. So I think right now they're without a doubt cup contenders, in my opinion. They might even be the number one. Do you agree?
Florida, yeah, I think 100%.
Yeah, cup contenders for sure. LA did zip it. Nothing at the trade deadline. They're one of two teams to have done nothing, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't think that changes where they are. I personally think they're a playoff lock. You might disagree with me there, but I think that they are.
I would honestly feel comfortable putting them. I would much rather put them at a bubble team.
Well, they actually are tied with Vegas.
hmm
So
I,
that
I
is something.
I definitely agree. I think that LA, I would put them at bubble mainly because um of how close it is with Vegas, and then with Minnesota coming up behind as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can put them playoff log. I'm fine with putting them in playoff log. In my opinion, I think that they're a bubble team though.
I kind of I kind of agree with you. I think we're gonna go bubble team. Minnesota. They traded away Brandon Duhaime. I think that's all they did. They are currently outside of a playoff spot. Again, they're similar to Calgary. They're not a team that is like lottery bad, but they're definitely on the outside looking in for sure, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Agree with that. Okay. Moving swiftly along here, we're halfway. Montreal, I believe, traded away Sean Monahan. They traded away Jake Allen. I think that's all they did. They might have done something else that I missed. I think Montreal among those teams that are just waiting for the lottery right now.
Yeah.
Even though I will say this, even though what they've done, I feel like is showing really good signs of improvement, they're still a lottery team. In my
Yeah.
opinion, they're just still a lottery team. Nashville, we might bump heads here. Nashville, they acquired or they traded away Jakob Trenin. I believe they acquired somebody. Let me look through here. They acquired Anthony Beauvillier from Chicago. I think that's all they did.
Wade Allison trade.
You got Jason Zucker. They traded Guriana for Wade Allison too. I think that is it. So I honestly view Nashville as a playoff lock. Even though they're in a wild card spot, they are pretty far ahead of those wild card spot teams. They're actually kind of catching up on Colorado. They're only 7 points back, but they do have Colorado does have a game in hand. I think they're playoff locks. I think what we've seen, they're on a like 11 or 12 game point streak right now. I think you got to put them as playoff locks, even in the wild card spot.
When you said that you thought that we were gonna butt heads, I thought that you were gonna not put them in playoff lock.
Oh,
I've started to get some faith in this national team. They've been playing some great hockey recently. I've been picking them a lot in some of my like pick'em stuff. And it's been working. So yeah, I was gonna put them in playoff lock too, to be honest with you.
okay. I didn't know if you would go that way, but all right, cool. Nashville and playoff lock. The Devils, they acquired Jake Allen, they acquired Capo Kakinen, and they traded Tyler Toffoli to the Jets. I believe that's all they did. Honestly, you can argue bubble team, but many would argue that they're too far behind to catch up, and they have played more game. And the other disadvantage too is they have played more games than a lot of the teams that are behind them trying to catch up, and the teams that are in front of them. So I kind of think you could argue bubble team, but I'm leaning outside looking in here a little bit. What do you think? They're one of those teams that, like, again, it's a toss-up.
I know. Like, as much as I want to put them in bubble team, there's just hasn't been enough recently.
They look
like this team was so good last year, and now the lack of goaltending has caught up to them this year. I think that they have goaltending. This team is a playoff lock, maybe even cup contender. But right now, this is an outside looking in bubble team, maybe. But I'd put them outside looking in.
I think you do outside looking in. It's definitely something that you have to take into consideration. I think that this team will definitely address their goaltending in the offseason. They're one of those teams that I think for sure will have to do that. But yeah, just right now, I think they're the outside looking in. The Islanders did nothing. They're one of those teams that did nothing. But they are on a 6-game win streak right now. They are currently tied with the Los Angeles Kings after one period of play. They are 2 points back of the Flyers, and they are in a wild card spot. I would not say they're playoff locks. I'm thinking bubble team here, though, right now.
Yeah. Playoff lock? I'd say bubble.
Yeah, I'm going bubble for me. So
yeah.
Rangers acquired Alex Wennberg, and they also acquired Jack Roslovic. I don't know. Do you people? I don't know. I feel like the obvious pick is cup contenders, but what do you think? Some people say playoff lock.
I don't know. I've really liked how the Rangers have been playing. I like the moves that they made. They had a close game with Florida, a really close game with Toronto. But again, they lost to the Blue Jackets recently too. They've had some good games with some good teams recently though. I think I'd put them in playoff lock, even though they are first in the Metro. I think that they're a playoff lock, and I would not put them cup contender though. I think I'd put them.
People are really gonna hate us putting the Rangers, but I think they're number one for playoff.
I think for playoff lock, they are the best playoff lock that is there.
I don't know. You could argue like I feel like if you put them in cup contenders, they'd be the worst one though. Like I don't know. I don't really know if this team is sustainable because a lot of what I've seen is through their first line and some of their second line. They have like virtually no depth scoring.
Well, something else that was pointed out to me recently was, who was it? Zibanejad hadn't scored in a long time.
That was another thing that I saw as well.
So he scored tonight, so that's put to rest now. But not too good from one of your top players.
Yeah, not something you want to see there. So
No.
people are going to heavily disagree with us, and we're going to get some comments for sure, but we're going to put them in playoff lock just from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Ottawa, they traded away Tarasenko. That's about it, what they've done. Regardless of what you think, it's a bad or good thing. They're a lottery team now. So
That's it.
they're absolutely. Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they traded away Sean Walker. They acquired Eric Johnson. They acquired Dennis Gurianov for Wade Allison. I don't know. They're not a playoff lock. I think they're a bubble team, in my opinion. They're right there with the Islanders.
They're the same with the Islanders. I think if we're going to put the Islanders in bubble team, we got to put the Flyers in bubble team.
Yeah, I agree.
Because realistically, I think it's gonna come down to those two for that Metro 3 spot. So I think we got to put them bubble.
And arguably a playoff spot. It all depends on how Detroit does, the Islanders and the Flyers, and even like the Lightning too. I think those are the four teams right now that are battling for those last playoff spots. I think the rest of them are locks. It's just right now it's between all of those teams. But again, with Philadelphia, I feel like the biggest thing too is going to be a lot of their injuries. They're missing a lot of their defensemen, especially too with acquiring Eric Johnson, who looks like the worst defenseman I've ever seen. That's saying something. But we'll find out if they make the playoffs. But I think they're definitely a bubble team right now. Pittsburgh, they traded away Jake Gensel. They, I believe, traded away like Magnus Hellberg. I believe that's all they did. I believe they are a outside looking in team. They're with the Devils there on that. You just have to put them there.
Yeah, I think you put them outside looking in. I think
with them selling too, and they've lost a lot of games recently. That just tells me they aren't they aren't legitimate.
They traded away Gensel. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. San Jose, they traded away Tomas Hertl, surprisingly. They traded away Anthony Duclair. They also, I believe, made a few other moves. They tried to trade away Matt Dumba, but obviously that didn't work out. I think they are a lottery team for sure, without question.
Yeah, I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah, Seattle is once again another one of those teams that's looking in. They mostly stood pat. They did trade away Wenberg to the Rangers. I think besides that, though, you have to put them in outside looking in. They aren't a lottery team, but they're not a bubble team either, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah. St. Louis. St. Louis is a team that you could argue is a bubble team. They are a few points out. They are about 6 points out, I believe, as of right now, with their win today. They did pretty much nothing at the deadline. They only traded away Malcolm Subban, I think, or got Malcolm. I don't even know. But I don't know. Do you want to put them as a bubble team, or are they just too far out right now?
No, I realistically, I'd put them in the same spot as Minnesota. They're both pretty much like.
That's true. You got a good point. They are the same points.
They're pretty much in the same place, and I think that if I were to pick a team to make it further, I would pick Minnesota over St. Louis.
Yeah, I think Minnesota has the better roster, and it feels like it shows that they have been playing really well since that awful first half. I feel like they'd be a team that would be more likely over St. Louis. But yeah, I agree. I think they should go in that outside looking in. Tampa acquired Matt Dumba. I think that's all they did. They are in the first wild card spot, but not by a lot.
They acquired Duclair as well.
They acquired Duclair as well. That was the other guy I meant to mention. Duclair as well. So honestly, I'm thinking bubble team here. I feel like it makes sense to put them with the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Red Wings. That looks like who is battling for that spot. So, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll go bubble team there. Toronto acquired Joel Edmondson. They also acquired guys like Nick Patan, Connor Dewar, other depth players. I don't think they're cup contenders. I think they're definitely playoff locks, but I don't think they're cup contenders. I think you got to realize that they're just not simply. I think with Matthews it's great, but I feel like there's too many problems on that blue line that I just can't see them beating. I can't even see them beating the Rangers or, they're definitely not beating the Panthers or the Bruins. I just can't see it personally. No. But obviously we'll find out because those two teams are probably going to play each other in the first round. That's looking like what the matchup's going to be. Vancouver acquired Elias Lindholm. That's about all they did, though. I don't know. Do you put them in cup contenders? What are you thinking? Or playoff lock?
So here's my thing. I am I am scared of Vancouver because I don't actually know where to judge them right now. They are on a nice little 4-game win streak, a dominant win over the Jets lately. They beat Vegas by 2, an overtime win over the Kings, and then they beat the Ducks by 1. That was their last 4, but then going back, they lost. Oh wow, they lost a lot. Hang on. Sorry, I gotta count, and counting's hard for me.
Sorry.
They
Well,
lost
they've been
six. They
struggling.
lost 6 out of their previous 7 before that 4-game win streak. So I don't know what to think of Vancouver. I want to put them in cup contender, but I am very scared of ranking Vancouver. They seem to be a team where when they're hot, but when they're cold, they're cold.
Well,
Um,
for me, it's an 82 game season.
yeah.
I think that you're going to face struggles. I think they're going to come out of this. I hope
Mhm.
they come out of this, but I don't blame you for having doubts like that. I feel like they are a cup contender, but they're one of the teams that I'm a little bit hesitant on to put them in the cup contender range.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. The Vegas
I,
Golden
I
Knights.
agree.
They acquired Tomas Hertl. They acquired Noah Hannafin. You could argue they are the best cup contending team out there. It could be them in Florida again, honestly. I think they're a cup contender, though. Carter has that look on his face. I think, do you agree with me that they're cup contenders?
I put them in playoff lock.
Really? Why?
I will be honest. I don't have faith in Vegas this year. But I said that last year and I got absolutely fucked by it.
You did, didn't you? You had Winnipeg win in the first round.
That was just me being biased, all right?
All right. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That wasn't
Um,
actual predictions, but you know.
yeah. Um, I am not. Listen, they're using their LTIR perfectly. That's fine by me. I don't care. It's in the rule book. NHL's got to fix it if they want this problem fucking solved. I feel like they tried building a super team and they did, and I don't think they're going to mesh. I think that chemistry is going to be a little off, in my opinion. They have a lot of star power, but I think they did too much. I think they've done a lot to put themselves over the edge. And in my opinion, I'm scared both of facing Vegas and for Vegas. I don't know how to feel about Vegas. Same thing with Vancouver, but I'm more just not sure about how, definitely great deadline on paper. I don't know how it's going to work in the end, like how it's going to work. I think I want to see how they mesh as a it's going to be hard because they have all that LTIR space. We're not going to see their full team, which is kind of scary. Um, I want to see how the new guys play um, under a Vegas system before I'd be 100% certain to put them in cup contender. It's weird, I know. I want to put them in playoff lock because there's still a chance for them to miss playoffs. So I won't put them in bubble team because they're too good to be called a bubble team. I want to put them in playoff lock, and I pray they don't make it.
I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from on some of these takes. I think that with Vegas's injuries, I think it's really prevented them recently from being a really good team. But I agree with you. I think a lot of these new guys like Hurdle and Hannafin are really going to have to play well together. They're going to have to mesh well together because as well as that too, Hurdle's going to be out to the playoffs. Hannafin, you got to experiment with him there. But if Hurdle comes back and Stone comes back and they look good, this team could be a back to back.
Mm-hmm. But
Honestly,
if Hurdle looks, it's not great.
it's true. But even if those things don't work out, I still feel like they're cup contenders. I'm gonna put them in playoff lock. We're gonna get a lot of comments, but I'm gonna put them in playoff lock with
Here,
what you're
listen,
saying.
listen. You listen to me on the Rangers. You can have your freedom with Vegas and put them where you want.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I think I'm going to put them in the back.
I had my freedom on New York saying that I wasn't sure if they're cup contenders. I had my freedom with that. You can enjoy your freedom on Vegas.
You have a good
I
point.
know I have them in playoff lock. You know you have them in cup contender. We know Jack has them in lottery because he's not here, so we can say whatever we want for Jack.
Yes, we can.
But in my opinion, I think they're a playoff lock, and I've stated my case.
I definitely understand where you're coming from, though. I can see your take, and I think that when this goes out, I think that people are initially going to be upset, but I feel like they're going to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Moving on now, we got two more teams. We got Washington. Washington, I believe, traded Joel Edmondson. They traded Evgeny Kuznetsov. I think they made one or two other moves. I can't think off the top of my head. They traded Mantha as well. I think you put them with Pittsburgh and the Devils. They're on the outside looking in. I think that's just really justifiable with the way you look at this team. And then finally, the Winnipeg Jets. I'm going to give it to Carter. Carter can do whatever he wants. I will say, though, they did acquire Sean Monahan. They did acquire Tyler Toffoli. Carter, what are your thoughts on the Jets?
As much as I want to put them in cup contender, I think out of the playoff locks, they are the best playoff lock. I think that out of the West, I like what I've seen, but again, what I've said, not Vegas, sorry. Their performance against Vancouver scared me. That 5-0 loss was enough to make me think, okay, I'm a little worried about this. But as I said, I did see how Toffoli played. I did see how Colin Miller played. Both looked great. I'm excited for playoffs. I would put them in cup contender. With my like not hardcore Jets bias, with if I were to put a little bit of bias on it, I'd throw them in cup contender. But I think that they are the best playoff lock that is going to be here. I think that they can definitely make it out of the West. But I'm too scared to be called a homer by putting them in cup contender.
Okay.
But I really like this roster. I was trying to piece together what the Jets are going to do for lines once Gabe Vilardi comes back. It is looking like a deep forward roster. The D-core is not super deep, but it's enough for me to be like, I like this D-core. But we are great on depth on forwards. I think the only thing I'm worried about is our defense a little bit. We have an all-star goaltender in Connor Hellebuck. We have the best goaltender in the NHL. Fuck it, cup contender. I'm switching it out. Cup contender. I'll put them
now
there.
he's going to cup contender. All right, I'll put him up there in cup contender then. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
No. Before you sign off on this, where would you have put Winnipeg?
I was thinking cup contender too.
Okay.
I was honestly thinking the range where you were thinking, like first playoff lock or like kind of the last cup contender, in my opinion. I think that's kind of where they fit for me. But I see where you're coming from. I get it. So overall, we had in this range,
we got a lot of cup contenders.
We have 8 freaking cup contenders. It just shows how open this is. We have 8 cup contenders, 4 playoff locks, and then 1 bubble team. So or 5 bubble teams. So that's 17 teams total. It makes a lot of sense that probably one of these teams in the bubble teams is going to miss out. So overall, before we end this segment off, the final list here is cup contender list. We have Florida, Carolina, Boston, Colorado, Dallas, Vegas, Vancouver, and the Jets. That is 8 cup contending teams. Playoff lock, you have the Rangers, the Oilers, the Predators, and the Maple Leafs. That is 4 playoff locks. Bubble teams, you have the Red Wings, the Kings, the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Lightning. On the outside looking in, you have the Sabres, the Flames, the Wild, the Devils, the Penguins, the Capitals, the Kraken, and the Blues. And then finally, lottery teams, you have the Ducks, the Blackhawks, the Sharks, the Coyotes, the Blue Jackets, the Canadiens, and the Senators. Carter, how do you feel like we did on that list overall? I feel like we did pretty well.
I agree. I think that like the only thing that like it is like the only thing that scares me is that we have a lot of cup contenders, but I feel like any one of those teams like realistically could win the cup.
even some of the playoff locks. Like last year, we didn't even think that Florida was going to go that far. A lot of us didn't even have Florida as like a playoff team. But they made it to the finals. So anything can happen. I know people are going to have disagreements with the Rangers. I know people are going to have disagreements with the Maple Leafs and probably the Oilers too, and probably the Jets and the Canucks and the Bruins maybe even. There's going to be disagreements with a lot of these teams. But generally, I'd say for the most part of this list, we did pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think we did pretty well. So I am very happy with that for sure. Okay, so after the tier list, Carter, I got one more question for you. What are your conference finals picks, your cup finals picks, and your Stanley Cup winner following the trade deadline?
Oh.
Post-trade deadline?
Yes.
Okay. So I think. Wow. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna go.
It's a really interesting question, isn't it?
That is actually because it's kind of tough. Okay, well, I'm gonna start in the East first. I think in the East we're gonna get Florida.
Okay.
I think we're gonna get a Florida-Carolina rematch.
Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna say that's what I have as well.
Okay. This is where it gets tricky. Getting into the West, because I really don't think anyone's gonna fall off in the Central. But there's so many damn good teams in this Central Division.
I don't know. It's a really close one.
And I don't know. And we said this in the tier list. I don't actually know anything. I'm scared of most of these Pacific teams, honestly. In like a I don't trust them way. So I'm gonna take Winnipeg as there's no reseed, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna take Winnipeg. Oh my god. I'm gonna take Winnipeg versus. I don't know if I want to. I said it in a tier list. I don't trust this team, but somehow they're gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna take Winnipeg Vegas.
Oh man, Winnipeg Vegas rematch from the round 1 in last year's playoffs
of the infamous clip. Oh my god.
All right, so through those series, who do you have winning the East and the West overall?
So I'll take Florida to win the East.
Okay.
They're gonna fucking do it, I swear. No. I don't care. I'm sticking with Winnipeg, man. I don't care.
Going with the Florida Winnipeg Stanley Cup final.
That would actually be pretty entertaining, I will say.
So with that Stanley Cup final, with the Florida with Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Vladimir Tarasenko, against Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, and Sean Monahan, who are you taking?
Wow, the fact that you really put that over Hellebuck or Morrissey.
No, I want to go with a deadline acquisition. I could go with Toffoli. Scheifele, Connor, Toffoli. How about that?
Bang, that's even better.
Who are you taking in a 7-game series there?
I don't want to get clipped, bro. I don't want to get clipped.
Get clipped regardless. It's
just gonna get clipped regardless. But fuck, whatever. Give me the Winnipeg Jets, man. Fuck.
Call it. Okay, so book it.
This better be our goddamn year, bro. This better be it.
Winnipeg Jets. The second freaking time in a row, Carter has said Winnipeg's winning the Stanley Cup. Play the clip.
No, don't play the. Look, all right, listen. Last year was pure bias. This year, I actually have faith in the Winnipeg Jets. Last year, I had it too, but it wasn't as high as I have it right now.
That's fair enough. So you have Florida over Winnipeg, you have Florida and Carolina making the Eastern Conference Finals. You have Winnipeg and Vegas making the Western Conference Finals. You have a Florida versus Winnipeg Stanley Cup matchup, and then you have the Jets winning the Stanley Cup. Yeah. Here's what I have. I have Carolina and Florida, so the same thing there. I have Colorado and Vancouver making it to the conference finals. I have Vancouver going on a little bit of a run here. Then I have Carolina and Colorado in the Stanley Cup finals. And then finally, I think it's their year. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to win the Stanley Cup. That is my pick.
Yeah.
That is my Stanley Cup pick. So Carter has the Jets. I have the Hurricanes. If we make a
Jack
graphic
has Chicago.
Jack has Chicago. If I make a graphic out of this, I will get Jack's pick, though. So, all right. Enough of that stuff. Time to get into the fun and games. Now, I have a little surprise game here for Carter. I did not mention this, but tonight, in his 3-0 win against the Washington Capitals, Connor Hellebuck hit the 30-win mark. He became the third U.S.-born goaltender in NHL history to post 5 30-win seasons. Carter, can you name the other two American goalies, who have 5 or more 30-win seasons? I'm giving you 1 minute. Go.
Okay. Jonathan Quick.
All right, Jonathan Quick's one of them.
Can I ask, they're retired, right? The other one?
Yes, he is retired.
Oh, fuck.
Your thinking cap on here. You got the first one right away.
I'm not good with nationalities.
You're down to 30 seconds here. Think.
Oh, my God. Brodeur? No, he's not American, is he?
No, not Brodeur.
Can you give me a team?
This goalie played for... It's going to be so obvious. This goalie played for the Buffalo Sabres at a point in his career.
Oh, my God. I'm not going to know. Oh, Hasek?
Nope, not Hasek. You're down to 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You're going to be so mad. 5 seconds.
I can't even take a shot.
And you're done.
Oh, no, Ryan Miller!
No. Yeah, that was...
No, count that! Count it! Count it!
No good.
Count it!
Your time's up. No good.
I said it before. Run the clip. Shot clock. Shot clock. It was in the air. It was in the air.
All right, we'll run the shot clock, but Carter did indeed get him right, just not in the time frame. So
I did get it in the time frame. The shot was up.
We'll see. I'll look through the time. But overall, the goalies were Ryan Miller and Jonathan Quick, the two goalies that had the 30-plus win seasons. So, Carter, good job. That was just something that I saw in the NHL PR stats, and I thought it'd be a cool thing to do since you are a Jets fan after all. But you did get one of them.
Yeah, you get the Canadian. I got 2 of them. Fuck you.
All right. But anyways, we'll move on to the game that Carter has come up with. So, Carter, you care to explain the game that we have?
All right. So, I was tasked with assigning a game, and we're going to have a little... I'm bringing back the random number generator. All right, it's back. I know everyone's missed it. So pretty much, I got 1 through 50 on here. I'm going to generate a number, and you got to pick a player who corresponds to that jersey number. Now, usually we do like 1 to like 98 or whatever, but that's a lot of numbers, and we could get numbers of players that we don't really know. So I kind of tried to pick ones that like most common, like not a lot of people go above 50. So yeah, we're going to build a team off of that. The last round is going to be goalie round. So what we're going to do, Nordic, is we're going to play rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins, it's all pure luck anyways, but we're going to do rock, paper, scissors, and whoever wins will go first and start the draft. You got it?
Okay.
Okay, so rock, paper, scissors to start. On shoot. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yes, sir! I win! All right, I get the first one. So, Carter, hit your random number generator. Let me see what we got going here.
Nordic is starting off with number 20.
Okay, let's Google this here. Guys, I am not good with numbers. That is something that I am not that great with. So, we're going to have to figure this out here. It doesn't have to be current, right? It can be retired too.
I mean, we can do all time, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna go with the current one here, though. We're gonna go with Sebastian Aho. I'm taking him as my center.
Sebastian.
All right, Carter, you're up next. He's number 20. I need to write the numbers down.
Yeah. Okay. Next spin, I get 46. Oh my god. I can't take Trevor as much as I'd want to. Damn, this is actually hard. I should have done like easier ones.
Yeah, why'd you have to think of like such a difficult game? It's fine.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I've never. Is this we're doing current or all time?
You can do all time if you'd like. I
Okay.
picked the current one though.
No, I want to do current too. If you're doing current, no one fucking good wears 46.
Kind of just have to roll with it then.
Okay, well, Krejci's retired, so I can't take him. Jared Spurgeon still plays, right?
Spurgeon does play, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna take Jared Spurgeon.
Does it? What number was he? 46.
46, yeah. Damn, not a good start for me.
Putting him as your left defenseman doesn't really matter
Okay.
what side. All right, give me my number.
Spin number 2, 48.
Okay.
So who does Nordic go with here?
Ooh, there's some interesting numbers here. Let me take a look. I'm going off of current because I think that's right. But number 48. Scroll down here. Ooh. There isn't some bad names here. I'm gonna go with Tomas Hertl as my left wing.
Oh, that you know what? Yeah, no, that's a good pick.
I'm off to a great freaking start. I'm really lucky right now.
That is a good.
I mean,
start.
this team's not going to be like awesome, but they're not.
Okay, I got. Oh wait, number 40 hasn't even been used yet, so I have to take 40. Shit. I am getting some god awful jersey numbers.
It's a lot of goalies though. That's like a goalie number.
I know. Oh my
If you
god.
want to, you can pick your goalie now, but like.
No, because I said.
Oh wait, I see someone here who's not a goalie. Let's see if you find out.
Am I playing right now?
Yeah. I'm on like Hockey Reference, and I just looked up players wearing number 20 or number 40.
Oh damn! Oh okay, shit.
And it shows me like a list of all the guys who did. There is a guy here that I think you really want to pick.
Oh, hold on. Damn, I didn't realize that this was here.
I think he's really going to help you with your bad Spurgeon pick.
Oh, Petey!
Yes, Pedersen in number 40.
Dang, let's go. I was about to call Joel Armia.
Oh my god.
Let's go. How did I forget Petey?
I don't know. I don't know his number's 40 either. The jersey number gurus are probably screaming at us right now. All right, what is my third number?
All right, number 3. Number 7.
Ooh. Hang on.
Oh shit! I should probably show the camera.
Why's my thing
so
frozen?
they know I'm not. So they know I'm not capping.
You're not cheating. All right. Okay, number 7. Let me go here. This is like from 21-22, but honestly, I'm not really that like worked up about it. A lot of good names here. We're gonna go with Devon Tays as my defenseman.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick right
Devon
there.
Tays there to kind of lock down my blue line.
Don't give me a number in the fucking 40s, please. I am getting my other defenseman, Josh Norrisy. Right?
Oh,
Is that who I want to take? Is that who I want to take? I think that's who I'm going to take.
No, you said it. You got to take Morrissey. Well, there is.
I was going to take Morrissey anyways. Give me Mr. Norrisy. Bang! Big pick. Huge pick for me.
All right. We're halfway
there.
there.
I didn't even need Hockey Reference for that. I didn't even need that. Let's go. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Number 4. Oh, I can't take D anymore. Nordic gets 37. Now, if he could pick his goalie in this round, he would have Connor Hellebuck, but we are doing a goalie-only round at the end.
Oh, man.
He is unable to take a goaltender here. So this is going to be hard for you to find a player who wears 37.
There's a lot of names here, actually. You know, I'm gonna go with. He's had injury problems this year, though. I think we're going all the time. I'm going Andrei Svechnikov. Number 37, Sveshnikov. You could go with like a guy like Middlestat. I might be missing a big name there, but since I can't really go with Hellebuck, I'll take Sveshnikov. Carter, you're up.
All right, next spin. We pull out number 5.
5. Oh boy.
So that is definitely a defensive number.
Ooh.
But that is my first number, not in the 40s. Oh no, this is not a great number here.
These are a lot of defensemen, but you got to go with the forward.
Oh my god!
I think almost all of these players are defensemen. Yikes!
All of them are defense. Oh god! Am I actually like they're not even good.
Oh,
they're all. I'm really okay. All right, I'm making an executive decision. Josh Morrissey is moving up to right wing, and we're throwing Middleton on my back.
No, you can't do that. I don't allow that. I'm vetoing. Nordic's vetoing. That's some bullshit. It's all based out of luck. You can't just put Morrissey up to right wing.
Fuck you.
Then I can put Hellebuck up to center. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, why the fuck would you do that? I'm kidding. I don't go. Fuck it. Middleton can go right wing. I don't care. Fuck it.
Jacob Middleton. All right,
what
number 5. Middleton.
That's my first actual number. That's not. I should have just done all 40s for myself.
Well, this is solely luck, so I think it's fair that you have to play that way.
Screw you! I can't wait to
all right, give me my next number. I have to pick a defenseman though, if we're going by that rule.
Number 16.
All right.
Fuck, that would have been such a good number for me, Mitch Marner. Fuck.
Oh my god, Richard Panik. I think he's retired though. My god, the only guy I see is Zadorov. Please, no, please let there be another guy that's not Zadorov. Oh, I think all of these guys are other forwards. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, I gotta go with Nikita. I gotta go with Nikita Zadorov. Oh my god. All right, well,
All right, well, see, honestly, Mitch Marner did drop back and play defense a while back. So, I mean, you still could have done him. So, he has that defensive upside.
I'm being fair.
I would have just taken best player available. I'm rocking 3 defensemen right now. This is fucking awful. Middleton. All right, my last number. And we're back to the 40s, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, that's my number. Evan Dickinson.
I am putting you to just fill the fucking waters.
You gotta go with.
Oh my god, they're all ass.
Can't go with a goalie. Oh my god.
Alexander Carrier.
You're going with Carrier? Okay.
Sure. We could use some of him on my team. My best player is Elias Pettersson. And other than that, I'm rocking 4 fucking defensemen, Nordic.
Middleton is not a defenseman. He's a center.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh shit. So. All right, fuck yeah. All right, I'm rocking 3 defensemen.
All right, well, we got our offense. Now it's time for an all-goalie round.
All right, you ready for your goaltender?
My number.
Okay, so...
Is it 1 to, 39 or, 39?
No, I'm doing 30 to 39.
If there isn't a goalie on a number, do I have to,
We'll respin.
I don't think there will be. There won't be, though.
Yeah. If not, then we'll just, that'll be your turn. And then it'll go to me. Your number...
What is it? Is it 37? Is it 37? Let me see. Yes, sir! Connor Hellebuck! Hellebuck! 37.
No! Hellebuck. That's supposed to be my guy! Why? I'm gonna end up with a fucking shitter. This is gonna go bad.
Pretty good team. I like this team.
Give me Ben Bishop, fuck's sake. I got 33. I think... Can I bring Bufflin out of retirement and put him in net for fuck's sake?
Oh my god, your goalie is gonna be. Oh, you don't have bad options here. Actually, I didn't see that guy. You've 2 legitimate options.
Okay,
or 3 actually. Never mind.
No, 2 legitimate options for 35 or 33. It's Aiden Hill or Urson.
There's Cam Talbot here too.
He's not popping up for me.
Oh, well, he's here. Oh, I'm looking at an older version. That's probably why.
Oh, I'm looking at 23, 24. I'll take Aiden Hill.
Okay. I mean, that's not that bad. That's not terrible.
That's not that bad. I'm just a guy who has like absolute superstars. Shut up.
I got really lucky. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so finally, our teams are number 20, Sebastian Aho, number 48, Tomas Hurdle, number 37, Andrei Svechnikov, number 7, Devon Tays, number 16, Nikita Zadorov, and number 37, Connor Hellebuck. That is my team. Carter's team is number 40, Elias Pettersson, number 45, Alex Carrier, number 5, Jacob Middleton, number 44, Josh Morrissey, number 46, Jared Spurgeon, and number 33, Aiden Hill. Your team's not that terrible.
It's not that
Not as good as
terrible.
mine, but it's not that terrible.
But it's a fact I'm running 3D.
He's not a defenseman. Middleton's not.
No, I have 3D. I have 3D.
What do you mean?
Isn't Spurgeon a defenseman?
Yeah, Spurgeon's a defenseman.
Yeah, him, Morrissey, and fucking the last dude that I drafted.
What, Hill?
No, not Hill.
Carrier, I don't think is a defenseman either.
Yes, he is.
Or William Carrier might be. I don't think Alex Carrier is.
It's Alexander Carrier.
Hang on, I'm looking it up. He is a defenseman, you're right. I guess you are running 3 defensemen.
Oh, well.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. But yeah, that concludes this episode of the NordCast. A pretty fun episode. Really had fun here. So thank you, Carter, for that. Hopefully we'll have Jack in episode 49. Maybe we'll have a guest too. Maybe. We'll see. But regardless, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe down below. We greatly appreciate it. If you are watching on the podcasting end, tell your friends and give us a good review. Make sure to follow the podcast on our Instagram at NordCast_. And our TikTok, too, at NordCast. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Adios.